Kick your feet up and relax for the next 2 hours, but not if you're driving.
It's terrible advice.
Real Kipper and Bourne here for the next 2 hours as we kick it off in the Leaf Hour. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, Jen Rolnick. We are live on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet Plus. The Toronto Maple Leafs erase an early deficit to win their third in a row over the Nashville Predators. JB, another game, maybe a consecutive game where we could have said the old Leafs would have found a way to lose this one.
That's exactly how I feel about last night. That's a game I'm so familiar with them getting rid of a point or two somehow. They got the 2 points. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're them, you don't really care how it happened. Well, maybe you care a little bit, but they got 2 points. So we'll start the day off with a standing O for that.
Sammy, 82 of these, right? Maybe it's just a little funk that they're going through where they're not showing their best yet. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how I felt about that game. I thought it was pretty boring for sure. But I don't think they necessarily played badly through 40 minutes. I think the whole...
Do you think they played goodly?
I think the whole difference with this team, with this coaching staff, and much of the reason that I was starting to get excited yesterday before Kipper slapped me across the face was that last night is a way more patient defensive effort than they ever gave under Sheldon Keefe. There would have been so many more risks taken. They would have been pushing for offense, pushing the puck. And, what did the Predators have? 11, 12 shots after 2 periods? They weren't getting chances.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a low-event game that the Leafs found a way to win. I don't think – it wasn't exciting. I don't think they played great, but they were patient. They looked well-coached. That's what I thought.
Okay, for the record, I kind of brushed you a little bit. It wasn't like one of those internet slap
Those
contests.
slap fights?
Those
Ooh.
slap fights.
Whose idea was that?
Right?
That's just straight CTE.
The CTE championships live on
It's gotta be
ESPN.
fake.
No,
It's
there's
not.
No way we're allowing people to slap people like that in
Undefended.
today's world.
And I saw one of the grand prizes for one of these events was like $5,000 for the winner.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't cover your hospital bill.
And that's for the winner. Everyone else is playing for lunch money.
It doesn't get you past your dental bill, let alone get to your brain.
I know. So anyway, that's not what you did to Sam.
No, it's not.
Gentle
but,
dismissal.
To Sammy's point, they look, how do I phrase this? They look comfortable when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to have when you're trying to win a division or eventually a championship, is that if you can identify when things aren't going well, yet there's no panic, yet there's no reason to feel like you got to jump up on a rush where maybe it's not the best idea, or pinch when it's not the best idea. If you can have the patience to wait, and last night was a prime example because we know what happened once Berube made the switch in between the second and third period when things really got going.
Yeah, to your guys' point, at 5-on-5, the Predators only had 6 rushes over the entire course of the game. That's just you're down a goal. You don't have to open the floodgates and start to take a ton of chances. Like the Leafs, do they have it in them to do it? Probably, and I don't know how much of this is personnel. But, yeah, they remained patient. They hung in there, and, the elite players did the elite player things. You get your win. Woll was good again. Very good.
As you know, I like to bring up the state-controlled media, the B-Leaf or whatever it's called. They actually had a clip of the second intermission as opposed to the end of the game address, which is rare for them. They usually put out the end of game thing where he goes in and does this, good job, Stoley, whatever he says.
Yeah.
But he was in that thing. He was like, yeah, I know, just stick with it, stay patient, keep check. I don't know. I just see the clips of this guy and they're putting out the best stuff. But it just feels like the way he communicates is so straightforward.
Propaganda's working.
It is, but I like the way he communicates.
Yeah.
It's straightforward. It's simple.
Let's go to our first Kippers Clipper of the show on Berube's thoughts last night. Clip 1.
So Jake McCabe okay to go tonight?
No.
Oh,
He's out.
That's from yesterday.
what happened? He seems
Just not feeling right.
No
Not
McCabe.
feeling good enough to play. So he will not play tonight.
Did you submit all the clips?
No, listen, I put in today's clips. our boy Derek is away. We have another guy in today.
Okay.
And he just, listen, there's a lot of clips in there from yesterday.
Did I not?
He made a mistake. I didn't put in the lineup. I forgot until right this second. So, no, you're good. You're good, Andrew. Don't worry. You know, it's rookie hazing
So
season.
you're just like the Leafs, except you're not comfortable when you're not playing well. You're a mess.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I think Andrew's probably worried, but I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm totally fine. So do we have the overview of the game now, Andrew? Clip 1.
Talked before the game about the game, and that team, that's a good team over there. I know their record doesn't show up, but it's a good team. And it's going to be a tight game. I knew that, and I thought our guys stuck with it and didn't open it up and played good defense. And third period, we started to attack a little bit more, and you know, power play got us a big goal.
Okay, we went heavy on Nashville yesterday, but Ruby's a little wrong. They aren't a good team, and their record shows it.
Yeah, it is reflected in their play. They can't produce a thing. They're not dangerous. That's not a very good hockey team.
No.
No, they're quite bad. And I don't want to do it because Toronto guy, legend of the game. But the Stamkos play outside of taking a penalty last night, it's like he's not noticeable 5-on-5, dangerous on the power play as usual, but just it's not a good looking unit there. That team.
But
they're going to start selling guys off.
To flip it back to the Toronto side of things about how they didn't start opening up, I do feel like a lot of this is personnel. You look at the Leafs lineup, and Fraser Minton is a guy that just kind of does it the right way, and Holmberg does it the right way, and Lorentz does it the right way, and Dewar, like they are kind of a steady group now.
Yeah.
It just feels more solid when they're in those situations than it used to be. Like, here comes Engvall and Mikheyev, who are good players, but they're a little bit more, I don't know, anything could happen. They're pop rocks.
Big talk after the game was the head coach's big move, right? Genius
A creative
move.
stroke of wizardry.
Unbelievable move.
Scotty Bowman.
The likes we've never seen before.
Let's go to Craig Berube
Clip 2.
off his Einstein moment.
How much credit do you take for reuniting Matthews and Marner in that moment?
No, I don't take credit. I mean, late in the second period, there wasn't much going on, so I thought I'd move a couple of guys around and see if we can get something going. I think it was 5 minutes to go in the second when I moved them, and then I just stuck with it in the third, and they went, got a couple opportunities and capitalized on them.
How much credit do you take? And then he wanted to say absolutely zero credit, but
Yeah, I
he
mean,
should
this
take
is
some
like,
credit.
boy, Oates and Hull. What if we reunited them, Like, what if we put Backstrom on the ice with Ovechkin?
Envision like Berube going to the bottom drawer of his coaching desk and then seeing Sheldon Keefe didn't take his last playbook and he opened it up and he said, when in doubt, put 16 and 34 together.
Yeah.
I think, it's you want to give him a bit of credit. Like he did have a good
he pushed the button at the right
he
time.
had a good feel
For
because
sure,
he
Sam.
hasn't done that. And like, you guys are going to make fun of me for loving Berube so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But he hasn't really done huge in-game changes like that. He felt that he needed. He pushed the right button and it worked. He does deserve some credit.
It was
He does.
only a matter of time before it was coming. You cannot have Austin Matthews on pace for like 30 goals or just sit at 5 goals now, coming back and not feeling like he needs 16.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, he does. He does.
The Toronto Maple Leafs may be taking a new approach to salary management, which could directly impact Mitch Marner's contract negotiations. During Kyle Dubas' tenure as general manager, the team didn't hesitate to spend heavily, and this trend began with a 6-year extension signed by Marner in 2019. At the time, Marner's $10.9 million annual cap hit set the market for superstar wingers, surpassing comparable players like Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche, who signed a 6-year deal with a $9.25 million annual cap hit. Now, however, times seem to be changing. TSN's Pierre Lebrun recently reported that the Maple Leafs have implemented an internal salary cap, aiming to ensure no player earns more than captain Austin Matthews, who signed a 4-year extension worth $13.25 million per season in August 2023. The team's primary concern revolves around Marner's agent, Darren Ferris, who, according to Lebrun, might push for a percentage of the total salary cap instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. LeBrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Auston Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Marner's future, along with the team's ability to stay competitive under financial constraints, will likely dominate conversations as the season unfolds. Supporters can only hope that the team's new approach leads to greater playoff success and, ultimately, the elusive championship. In the end, the outcome of these negotiations could redefine the Maple Leafs' identity for years to come. Whether it results in retaining Marner or reshaping the roster, the team's commitment to an internal salary cap signals a clear focus on long-term sustainability. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that keeps the team's core intact and their championship dreams alive. As the negotiations with Mitch Marner progress, another layer of complexity is added by the external competition in the NHL market. Teams with more cap space and fewer restrictions could easily present lucrative offers to Marner if he reaches free agency. The Leafs are not only negotiating with Marner but also indirectly competing with other franchises willing to outbid them for his services. One example of this is Mikko Rantanen, whose potential $14 million value on the open market highlights the growing demand for elite wingers. If Rantanen secures such a deal, it could set a precedent that Marner's camp would use as leverage. The Leafs, however, must remain disciplined, as breaking their internal salary cap for Marner could lead to similar demands from other key players down the line. The looming specter of free agency means the Leafs have a limited window to strike a deal. If negotiations drag on into the off-season, the leverage shifts heavily in favor of Marner and his agent. Darren Ferris, known for his strategic patience, could use this to push for maximum value, putting even greater pressure on the Leafs management to make a decision. This scenario also places significant pressure on head coach Sheldon Keefe. Managing a team amid ongoing contract uncertainty can disrupt chemistry and focus. Keefe will need to ensure that the team remains united and focused on their performance, even as the media and fans speculate about Marner's future. Meanwhile, the Leafs core group, including Auston Matthews, Morgan Rielly, and John Tavares, will likely play a role in influencing Marner's decision. The camaraderie among the players and their collective drive for a championship could persuade Marner to accept a deal that aligns with the team's financial structure. On the flip side, the Leafs could explore contingency plans if a deal with Marner doesn't materialize. Trading Marner would be a bold move, but it could bring significant assets in return, potentially bolstering the team in areas like defense or secondary scoring. This option, while unpopular with fans, might be necessary to maintain roster balance. The timing of these decisions is also critical. With the trade deadline months away, the Leafs must assess whether keeping Marner without an extension risks losing him for nothing in free agency. A preemptive trade could avoid this scenario, but it would also signal a significant shift in the team's short-term goals. Fan sentiment will undoubtedly influence the team's approach. Marner is not just an exceptional player, he's a fan favorite and a symbol of homegrown talent succeeding in Toronto. Losing him could lead to backlash, especially if the team struggles in the aftermath of his departure. The broader NHL landscape also plays a role. As other teams navigate their own salary cap challenges, the Leafs can learn from their successes and failures. Organizations like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights have shown the value of balancing star power with depth, offering a potential blueprint for Toronto's future.